Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Battle School Dropouts. I'm Stew.
And I'm Bakari.
And every episode, we talk about the first 6 episodes of an anime, and this week we are talking about Space Brothers.
Yes.
But before we get into that, I got a really important question.
Hit me.
Bakari,
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing, you know what? Donald Trump's in the hospital, so any other shit that could be going on, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing about the same. It's I've never seen Twitter so excited about something. Like, I don't think anybody thinks that this is going to go like all the way, like we're going to get like a home run with this one, but
No.
People are still jazzed, you know, after fucking months of this dude being like, oh, it's not a big deal, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like fucking hospitalized with coronavirus. Like,
You love to see it. You love to see it. Not to be like a malicious person or anything. Like, I like to think I'm the kind of person who wouldn't wish death on another human being. But man, if there was any, like, if this year was being written by an author, this is the way to end it. This is the Stranger Than Fiction where Will Ferrell doesn't want to die and the guy's like, sorry, man, the ending is just too good and it involves you dying. Sorry. Like, that's this. Sorry, Donald. It's got to happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first episode that we've recorded where we're starting off where we're like, hey, good fucking news about 2020.
Yeah, it's really every single episode we're like, oh, well, the state's on fire. Well, you know, the police are brutalizing people in the streets. Well, 200,000 people have died. But today, Donald Trump is in the hospital because he is showing symptoms of coronavirus and has already tested positive. So, you know what? I'll drink to that.
Yeah. Here, you know, and we're drinking good beer today too. Maybe that's a coincidence or something.
Everything's coming up. Battle School Dropouts right now. This is our time.
Like, usually during the podcast, like, we'll drink like PBR or something equivalent.
Oh yeah.
I know there's been like sake and stuff like that, but like I'm drinking Phantom Bride IPA. It's pretty fucking tasty.
That's fancy. Got me some Victory Sour Monkey, 9.5%. Getting fancy today.
Ooh, shit. And I do want to bring up, it's Phantom Bride. It has something to do with Deftones that I don't understand. I forgot the name of the brewery, I believe, is called Belching Beaver, which I fucking hate saying.
That's such a good name.
It's a good name. But like, we had this beer on campus back when I actually went to a campus or school, and I would order the Phantom Bride, and the person would yell down, "Can I get a pour of Belching Beaver?" I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted.
That sounds like I'm sure there are many Lord of the Rings porn parodies, but I'm sure like it sounds like one of those, like, you know, where Gandalf tells Frodo to meet him at the Prancing Pony. It's like, make sure you're not followed. Meet me at the Belching Beaver.
Yeah, you've got meat me. Like, it's a different kind of meat, you know?
Exactly. Lord of the O-Rings, I guess.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Lord, I mean,
yeah,
it's good.
We're getting somewhere.
We'll put that script out there. You're welcome.
Yeah, fuck this
Warner
podcast
Brothers.
shit. Fuck this podcast shit. No, we just found our true calling.
Yeah, we got to be making porn parodies of movies.
Yeah, of movies that came out in the early 2000s. That's really, there's a big market for that, I think. Yeah, what you been up to? What you been doing?
What I've been doing? I've been surviving school. School's been a little rough, but I've been killing a lot of time with Left 4 Dead has kind of become my go-to game right now.
Oh, yeah, you got that update.
Yeah, there was a big update. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, Left 4 Dead 2 came out, I don't know, like 2012, something like that. I'm probably way wrong.
Whoa, 2012?
Yeah, so it's an older game.
No, that seems surprisingly late to me. I feel like that's like 08, 09 at the earliest.
I mean, maybe. I know it's older. Let me see. Oh, 2009. Yeah, you were
there
right.
It is. There it is. He never misses, folks. He never misses.
Anyways, old game. One of my favorites. Like, I've got 30 hours in it on PC, which isn't representative of the fact that I have like 1 billion hours on Xbox 360. Like,
oh yeah, you got that. Yeah.
Like, I own 2 Xboxes and 2 copies of Left 4 Dead 2, so that at a LAN party, I can play it with 4 people. You know, like, that's my fucking favorite thing. I've been like, so it's 11 years since there's been a game, so I'm like, man, I really wish that there would be Left 4 Dead 3. And then they released this update, and it's like they added a bunch of content. It's really sick. And I'm like, oh no, this is exactly what I want. Just more Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Like, I love Left 4 Dead 2. If you give me more Left 4 Dead 2, I'm a fucking happy camper.
Totally. I feel like that's, you know, when like the rift between consumer and developer when it comes to video games has closed considerably over the years. You know, everybody's on Twitter and shit, and like every time they put out a Smash Bros character, like everybody's pissed and happy at the same time. Like when it comes to like sequels, like everybody's been screaming for a Jet Set Radio. Not everybody, but like a lot of people in my circles have been screaming for a Jet Set Radio sequel for a long time. And it's like, you don't want a Jet Set Radio 3. You want more Jet Set Radio Future. You want more of that game you played in the early 2000s. And that's fine. That's fine. If they put out a level pack for Jet Set Radio Future, I would go out and buy an original Xbox like today. Like, that's just how it is. So I think that's honestly a really smart move on Valve's part to be like, no, nobody wants, or they think they want a Left 4 Dead 3, but they just want to play more Left 4 Dead 2. And that's what they gave you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The part that blows my mind is that they released, like, technically it's only like one new campaign, which is a really short campaign.
Sure.
And then like a bunch of like little survival maps, but they released it for free. Like, they could have sold it for like $5-10 and I probably would have bought it. But the fact that they released it for free makes me be like, I gotta fucking talk about this, like, to everybody. Like, the game, it just added a bunch of content. It's sick. It's great.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I think it's relevant to this podcast as well because my friend Will and I play it a fair amount, and we play it with mods because the Steam Workshop makes it really easy. And there are a shit ton of anime mods on there. Like, all the guns that we play with have anime girls on them. The flashlights are anime girl flashlights. We've replaced all the special infected with like whatever we could find. We've got like Hatsune, like, in the our original lineup, instead of being like Bill and Lewis and all that, is Storm Falcon. I think I got his name right, from Mega Man X.
Oh, buddy, that's Storm Eagle.
Storm Eagle, whatever.
Wrong Raptor.
Hey, watch me continue not to care. We've got him. We've got plus he's replacing Bill, the worst guy. So who cares?
Fuck him.
So we got Toru from Dragon Maid. We've got Hatsune Miku, and we've got Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. So it's just this hodgepodge of like video games and anime, and I fucking love it.
That's beautiful. That sounds like a great fucking time.
Like, the Smoker is Slender Man. The Boomer is Gengar from Pokemon. It's great.
That's good. Those are some quality picks. What? I think you mentioned that you had changed the witch to something. What was that?
The witch was a different Vocaloid, and I don't really know who she is or whatever it is, but she's like, instead of being like crying, because like the witch is like this crying woman, and if you get too close she starts screaming, instead it's like this Vocaloid that just like sings and doesn't seem to be very good at it, so it's just like la 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 la. So it's like, there's a witch, watch out.
I was like, that sounds like a good one to put like something like a Hatsune Miku or a Vocaloid kind of thing on, because like, you know, you just hear like way off in the background that like weird tinny robot voice, like like that, like that could be appropriately scary given the situation. And World Is Mine is a great song, so.
And I replaced all of the regular zombies with Vocaloid characters. I thought that would be really funny. And I ran into a lot of issues because Hatsune Miku was on my team, and I shot the shit out of Hatsune Miku all the time. Because I kept thinking like, oh, there's another one.
You got those wires crossed there.
Yeah.
It should just be like rough. Generic anime people, or like the Teletubbies mod or something.
There's a spooky Teletubbies mod that is a little too scary for me, but I did replace them with the little bean guys from Fall Guys, and that worked pretty well. That's
good. That's a good one. Fall Guys is a good time. I like that.
Fall Guys is a great time. Absolutely. What have you been playing, Bakari?
Geez, what have I been playing? So I've been playing this, it's a game called 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. It is a strategy JRPG. Oh,
we talked about this a little bit. I'm amazed that you can keep that name straight.
We did. Honestly, yeah. Like, it's one of those things where, like, when you first see the name, you're like, what the fuck? And then, like, you play the game, and it's like, there's 13 characters. The robots, it's about 13 teenagers who pilot giant robots and fight kaiju. In this case, the kaiju are like a giant, War of the Worlds, like, robot things. They actually make references to War of the Worlds. They're like, it's like a tripod, but it's got another leg. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, they really crib on a lot of, like, pulp sci-fi from, like, the, I don't know, 70s or 80s or whatever, whenever the fuck that book came out. I'm not gonna... But yeah, so there's 13 characters, and they pilot Sentinels, which are robots, and they're trying to protect the Aegis, which are, it's this, basically this Earth defense system that, like, also works as, like, an interdimensional wormhole thing. I don't know. The story's really weird, but there's a lot of time travel nonsense. There's one guy from the World War II era who is determined to use one of the mechs in order to prevent the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. It goes places. But,
whoa. Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So so like once you have all those little bits of information, like the name 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, I'm like, oh, I get it now.
It's not just anime nonsense.
It very much is anime nonsense, but it's anime nonsense that you can eventually apply logic to. But yeah, it's a strategy RPG, not entirely unlike like an XCOM kind of deal. But
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's you take control of 13 teenagers piloting giant robots trying to defeat these aliens, and you really only control like 6 or 7 of them at the same time. There's like there's the strike squad, and there's the defensive squad, and the defensive squad, it works automatically. You don't have to control them. And then so you're controlling like 6 or 7 people. And that matters because each of them has a brain overload gauge, and if you use them in too many battles too many times, they will just become so traumatized they can no longer, they're just like, yes. Oh god, I'm 16 and this is horrible, war is awful, oh no, I need to sit down for a minute, and you're like, fuck, I can't use that character anymore.
Finally,
so you gotta,
Eva Simulator 2020.
Yeah, you're not super wrong about that. It's a little it's a little Ava-ish, for sure. But yeah, no, it's great. It's got a really, I could not tell you what the fuck is going on with that story, but it is interesting. And the characters are likable, and it's got, like, in between the robot the robot fights, you have kind of more like visual novel kind of aspects where it's like it puts you in control of one of the 13 characters, and you kind of run around a map, and you find things that, like, add to your this is not the right word at all, but to add to your brain bank, and then you can then you can use it. So, like, somebody will like, you'll have a ray gun in your hand, and you'll be like, oh, I have a ray gun right now, and then it'll add, like, thought added ray gun, and then you, like, meet somebody who knows a lot about ray guns, and you're like, I should talk to this guy about ray guns, and you, like, select that out of a list of things thoughts you can talk about. This is stuff like that. So yeah, it's got awesome. It's got a lot of really cool shit going for it. The soundtrack is great. The visuals are really good, but it's also one of those, like, it's very much a AA kind of game where, like, there's a lot of production value, but, like, it's only going towards the parts they care about. So, like, there's other things where you're just like on the battle screen, you don't even really see the robots themselves. You're kind of more just like, they're just like little icons on the map that more look like, what you would see if they were looking through a radar. So, like, it makes sense diegetically, but stuff like that. They have the beat 'em up syndrome, where if you are walking towards or away from the camera, it looks as though they're still walking sideways, stuff like that.
Oh no. Yeah. Because it's interesting looking at this game on, like, Google Image, because, like, when you're like, yeah, they're battling against kaiju and they're in robots, I'm like, this went from, like, some random JRPG thing that I'm not going to give a fuck about to, like, holy shit, that sounds incredible. And then I look up the combat and I'm like, did I find the right screen? Where are the robots? But it actually, like, it does look really cool.
No, it's
like
it's
the
sick.
combat screen.
The combat was like, you know, I watched a like the IGN review or whatever, and I was like, I don't know. And then I was talking to my boy who's been playing it quite a bit, and he was like just singing its praises constantly. And like when he talked about it, I was like, okay, that sounds sick. I'll pick this up. And yeah, so far like that was a little bit of a not a deal breaker, but like a negative for me. But like when you're playing the game, like I haven't even thought about that once, honestly. Like it's not a big deal to me at all.
Well, it seems like there's enough going on too outside of the battles that like make it really interesting. There's a game I've never gotten super far in, but I really like called Darkest Dungeon. And
I like Darkest Dungeon a lot. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's got a similar thing to like the brain bank thing where like the person gets panicked, right? Where it's like you have a panic meter that fills up, and it really is like, okay, am I going to put this like super stressed out person into a stressed out situation, or am I going to let them relax for right now and, you know, use other people? It's like such a fucking it's like horror games almost, where it's like you're like the scariest part about horror games is resource management. Like,
oh yeah,
how do I, like, I have this really powerful character, but I can't use them. I need them to relax. But I have to get through the situation. Oh shit, here's a monster that I've never fought before who's stronger than anything. Like, okay, I have to use my guy. Oh no, I fucking killed them.
yeah. It's like you have access to the resources that would make you feel safe through this level. But if you use them to the extent to which you need to like make yourself feel safe in that level, the next level is going to fuck you double. So like you got to really like, you know, weigh those pros and cons, so to speak. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I wish I had bought it physical so I could loan it to you, but alas, I bought it digitally because we're going through the apocalypse and it's difficult to go to a GameStop right now. So, yeah.
Man, can you imagine like being berated by like, hey, do you want to pre-order all these games and then also getting coronavirus? Like, it sounds fucking terrible. Hey, do you want to subscribe to Game Informer? No, I'm good.
Is there a game on the horizon or that recently came out that like if you got coronavirus you'd want it to be that for that game?
Oh, that's come out recently.
Because Aegis, like 13 Sentinels, that comes close for me. I don't.
Yeah.
I would feel like a dork being like, yeah, I got coronavirus going out to buy 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. But at the same time, like I've bought a lot dumber shit. So
yeah, there are definitely games that I would get coronavirus over, but nothing that's come out during coronavirus that I can think of.
Not even Doom Eternal, huh?
Well, okay, actually, that's a solid yes, but I'm only hesitant because it doesn't run well on my computer. So it would really hurt to be like, get coronavirus, play Doom Eternal, have it crash. Like,
That's a real bummer. That's one of those ironic endings kind of thing.
Yeah, very much the, I can finally spend all my time reading. Oh no, I broke my glasses.
Perfect. I wanted to reference that Twilight Zone episode, but I did that last episode, so I didn't want to do it again. So
it's that and the airplane one. Those are the only ones I really know.
There's others. I can't think of them, but there's others.
There's one I saw during the Twilight Zone remake that they did. Not the most recent one, but there was one they did in like 2005-ish. And there was one where it's like this person was getting plastic surgery and it was all about plastic surgery. And then it turned out that they got it to like look ugly or something because everybody in that world looked ugly. So it's like, aha, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I thought that was like the craziest thing when I was like 15 or something. I was like, whoa, that's such a twist. That's so good.
That's a real like 2005 deep kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, time and a place you're like, oh fuck, these guys are just dropping some wisdom on me. What the fuck? This is crazy. My mind is just going full galaxy right now. And like, now you look back on it, it's like, what the fuck? Come on.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting details wrong too, but yeah.
Close enough.
Whatever,
Did you watch the new? They put out a season of the Twilight Zone narrated by Jordan Peele like a year or two ago. Did you see any of that?
I heard, like, I was excited about it because I like Jordan Peele like a lot, but I didn't. No, I didn't watch it. It was on like CBS All Access. Who the fuck's gonna get CBS All Access?
That's right. Yeah, it was that and that. It was that and the new Star Trek, I think, were on that. Two huge like legacy shows, but like to people our age, it's like, no, I'm not gonna pay for it. Are you kidding me? What? No. I know how to torrent things. Like, absolutely not. But no, I did watch that first episode, and it had some real Black Mirror energy to it. It was very much a like, what if this shit happened? Wouldn't that be fucking insane? Your mind's blown right now. Technology's evil. Like that kind of shit. Not actually about technology, but that very similar. Well, it's not great.
There's a show also made by Jordan Peele and another guy who I didn't recognize. They're like both producers.
Keegan-Michael Key. It's Key and Peele.
Have you heard of Key and Peele?
No,
it's this
please
really
tell me about
obscure
it.
show. It's nobody ever knows it or quotes it or anything like that. There was a YouTube original called Weird City, which was kind of like Black Mirror, but so on the nose that it's kind of hard to know if it was like, it was obviously trying to be a parody. How successful, I'm not entirely sure, but it was actually like pretty entertaining. Like, it's one of the best things on YouTube, premium or whatever, which is not a long list, but
is it still YouTube Red? Do they still call it that?
I've had it for like 4 years. I call it YouTube Red sometimes, but like it's YouTube Premium is what it's called. I watch an absurd amount of YouTube, so not having commercials saves, like, I probably gained like 2 years of my life. But I've also lost 10 years to YouTube, so it's hard to knock out which one's right.
I watched YouTube mostly on a first gen Chromecast, and I think because the firmware is so old, they never figured out how to run ads on it. So
there you go.
Thinking ahead here. Just go ahead and time travel back to 2010, and there you go.
Yeah. Well, and the other reason I have YouTube Premium is that it comes with their music app. So I don't have Spotify. I have like Google Music or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, they just shifted it, so I'm not even sure how it works. But that was like, I wanted to listen to like a Dead Kennedys album, and so I got like a monthly trial and saw that it came with like no commercials on YouTube, and it's been 4 years and I'm still paying for it.
No, yeah, you like on its face, I haven't really looked into it beyond it, but like YouTube Music sounds like the ideal, because like there'll be times where I'm like, oh yeah, there's this like Japanese bossa nova artist from the mid 90s that I really want to listen to, and they're not on Spotify. Where am I going? Of course I'm going to fucking YouTube every time.
Yeah,
like shit like that, like, that's where you go. So like the fact that they made a music streaming service out of it, fucking brilliant. Good thinking.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of they just shift. So basically, they had like a shittier version of Spotify before, and they just shifted over to like, now it's called like YouTube Music or Music YouTube or something. But what's kind of nice about it is for this episode, the Space Brothers, I really liked their opening theme song, which was done by a band called Unicorns, or just Unicorn, I can't remember. But there wasn't a ton of info about them, and I couldn't find any of their albums streaming anywhere. But YouTube Music, like, a lot of their stuff is on YouTube, and it found a collection of their stuff that they had uploaded on YouTube. And so I was able to listen to it through that. And that was actually pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Spoiler alert, I really like the theme song to Space Brothers, and I kind of really like the band that made it.
What is the name of the band that made that?
It's Unicorn, I believe, not plural.
Oh, same one, same band. That's the one you were talking about.
Yeah, because there's also there's another band I really like called the Unicorns. So it's
the Unicorns.
Really, yeah,
that makes things a little difficult.
So definitely, but yeah, they are called Unicorn. And the Space Brothers theme is like their most popular song, I think. But they have some other good ones, and it's all kind of like dad rock music, like pop rock kind of stuff. But it's all really up tempo, so it's kind of fun.
I mean, like if it's similar to, because I also really enjoyed the Space Brothers, like the whole soundtrack. But yeah, the OP was really great. Yeah, so if it's all a similar vibe to that, like even just like aesthetically, you know what I mean? Like that's cool. That's a good time.
Yeah, their more recent stuff is pretty similar to that. Not as like spacey, I guess. More on like the, hey, we're really influenced by the Beatles, but we also like rock music side of things. So they're more recent stuff.
Are the Beatles not a rock band? Were they not?
They're rock band, but they're like, I feel like the Beatles are like you have like rock music and you have the Beatles, and there's a lot of crossover, but there's also a lot of things that the Beatles did first or better or whatever. So
sure, you've got rock music and you've got rock music made by bad British people.
Ooh. Yeah, you're not a Beatles fan, are you?
No, okay, I'm beyond the point where I like try to make a personality out of hating things, but yeah, I really just can't stand. Like, listen, I'm not saying the Beatles are bad. I'm not saying people are bad for liking the Beatles. I'm not saying anything about the Beatles beyond the fact that I do not give a shit about them. I do not want to listen to them. Not a fan. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, which, fair enough. The Beatles aren't for everybody. I'm like a Beatles like greatest hits kind of guy, I guess. Like I like some of their popular songs, but
sure.
I don't like, if you ask me like, oh, what's your favorite album? Like, no idea. I've never sat through an entire Beatles album front to back.
Never. There's a couple Beatles. I like fucking Eleanor Rigby. That's a good one. I like Help. That's a good song. There's a couple here and there that I enjoy. But like every time I think about the Beatles, think about the song Imagine by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Maybe just John. I don't know. She was in the music video. I hate that song so much. Like when the coronavirus shit happened and all the celebrities were like, they did the, oh my God, I was going to have a conniption, dude. I was so fucking upset.
Most Americans have kind of been okay with wealthy people for a long time, right? Like
too long.
Far
too long.
We didn't there was an obsession with like Paris Hilton in the early like 2000s and whatnot, and like we were okay with rich people for a long time. And I feel like coronavirus has broken so many people. Like here's all these celebrities just doing a fun thing. They're just putting themselves out there. If regular people did it, I wouldn't hate it. But the fucking fact that these celebrities like, imagine all, and they just fucking suck, and it's just like, I fucking hate this. Like, fuck off. Like, you're millionaires. You're gonna be fine. We're all gonna die out here.
The best thing about that video is the varying amounts to which like the celebrities gave a shit about it. Like, there's certain ones that are just like imagine all the people living for today. Yeah, I did my part, great. And then you got fucking the Millie Bobby Brown going, you can say I'm a dream, like really fucking going for it, like all out, no holds barred, just fucking going all in. And you know what? God bless her for doing it. But like that's just a really funny side by side comparison. Fuck John Lennon. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of John Lennon, but
I don't know enough about him. But I do know that social media wise, there was maybe like a couple months later, there was like a stunt people video that was like them doing transitions based on like basically punching and kicking towards the camera, and it was way more sick. Like, no, way better than this Imagine video. It was so fucking cool. It was like one of the best fucking coronavirus videos. No, fucking best video to come out of coronavirus. Was just best video people. Of coronavirus.
Yeah, that sounds right. Like nothing I've seen as a result of coronavirus comes even close to you even talking about that.
If you haven't seen it, I'll send it to you. It's sick, dude.
Please do. Please, absolutely. I was really sad that Natalie Portman was on the Celebrity Singing Imagine thing, because I really liked Annihilation, the 2018 sci-fi Lovecraftian thing. That was a really good movie. I don't have anything to add to that. I just liked Natalie Portman in that movie, and then she did that.
I don't think I've made it through more than like maybe 20 seconds of that video before my blood has like boiled out of my body and like I passed out, unable to watch anymore.
I tried really hard one time, and I think I got like 1:10 seconds. That was like my peak, and that was like I did some Rocky IV fucking training to get there too. Like that was not a let me watch this thing. I was like, I've tried so many times. This time I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go all the way, and I made it a minute and 10. I was like, that's you know what, I did good today.
I have an idea for like a future video that I think would be funny, and I've realized it would be less painful, but like. We talked a lot about, there was the Crunchyroll convention early in September. Yeah. And it was all digital and everything. And we got talking about AMVs, and we watched a bunch of AMVs. And there are a ton of Headstrong AMVs. And I thought it would be really funny for us to just review like as many of them in an episode as we could. And that sounds like it would get painful at a point. But that point would be so much later than that fucking celebrity video.
I was very into like back in 2007 or what, like whenever my parents finally upgraded to an internet that was like powerful enough to watch YouTube videos on. I was in on that fucking AMV shit. I have watched so many videos of Naruto and Bleach and One Piece and fucking Dragon Ball and Kingdom Hearts and whatever else you can think of set to that song Headstrong by Trapped. And every single time when I was fucking 13 or whatever, dude, it was rapturous every single time.
Fucking sick, dude. Well, it's like I make fun of AMVs. Like, I think I just, like, I wasn't into anime at the right time.
Yeah.
But I was watching the other fucking day, somebody set, like, John Wick scenes to The Only Thing They Fear Is You from Doom Eternal. And I was just sitting there watching it, and I got, like, halfway through it, and I was like, this is sick. Fuck, I'm just watching an AMV. Like,
that is absolutely just an AMV. Hell yes, that sounds sick as hell. Send me that too when you send me that other link.
Like, well, but it's one of those things where I shouldn't have stopped myself, but I did, because my identity is built on like AMVs are silly. But it's like, you know what, fuck it, man. If you're enjoying like a kick-ass song set to your favorite show, like fucking enjoy yourself,
No, yeah, totally. Like there are like after my stint watching, so many Kingdom Hearts cutscenes set to so many Linkin Park songs, eventually I started expanding a little bit, and people had there were like websites that would do like AMV contests, you know what I mean? And like people who actually knew shit about video editing would enter, and like there were some like AMVs that to this day I think back on, I'm like, you know what, that was kind of sick. That was cool what they did there. Like the art of making a music video is a difficult and sensitive one, and you know what? Some people got the gift.
Yeah. And
just because it's Naruto or Bleach or whatever doesn't mean it's not sick.
Absolutely. I think I've mentioned it before, like I have an AA in film, so like I've pursued it a fair amount of like just like learning how to like do video stuff basically. And the first video I ever made was I recorded a bunch of footage at school during high school, and I set it to Damn It by Blink-182.
Yeah.
And that was the first video I ever made, and it fucking it didn't go anywhere or anything, but it like opened my eyes to like video editing. Like I just like I saw it was like the Matrix was open to me. And it was a fucking, I mean, it's not an AMV, but it's fucking close,
No, straight up I did like I you know what? We're coming clean on this episode. I wasn't entirely honest with you earlier, Stu.
Oh God.
When I was in high school, I actually made a few AMVs myself.
Dude.
I taught myself the old Windows Movie Maker, with the fucking, that dark blue background with the Comic Sans looking ass font.
Just swirls in.
Yeah. You got the swirl wipes, you got the fucking, the star wipes and shit. Yeah, I was putting all that shit down. Looks like Star Wars Episode 2 all over the place. Yeah, I made a video of the Kingdom Heart. No, it was Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, the movie that they made, and I set it to a song that I heard in church one time, Fingernails by Skillet, and that got like 120,000 views.
What the fuck?
Like,
whoa!
Yeah.
There's
I hit my internet fame like way too fucking early. Way too early.
Man, fuck that. That's like more like at this point of recording, our podcast has like 100 views on YouTube.
Total, like across all videos.
Across 4 episodes, yeah. I often compare my own YouTube success to my buddy Andy uploaded a video from like Hunter x Hunter of there's like the character Hisoka, and he like walks forward and he like thrusts his groin, and there's like a swing.
It does the swing sound effect. Yeah.
And he has that video up on YouTube, and it has like a shit ton of views, and it's like always more than anything I've ever created.
Listen, all you need to do to make it big on YouTube is steal content. That's all you need. It's just take something that someone else made, post that shit.
Well,
thousands of views instantly.
It's one of those things where it's like that's definitely like not what he was going for. But
no, this is no shade at your friend here.
Right, like at this point, it's so funny that it's just like, yeah, he has this video, and it's got. I just looked it up. It has 245,000 views.
God damn.
Yeah,
blew my little AMVs out of the water right there.
I honestly thought it was going to be closer to like 80 or something, but like, yeah, we'll be at an anime convention and he'll bring it up, and it's funny. It's so great. I love it, dude.
It's so good, man. I miss the like a lot of. This is kind of boomer talk, but like I do miss the Wild West days of the old internet, like when half the people were still on dial-up, you know. Crazy times back then. 100%. YTMND, rest in peace.
There's a fucking You're the Man Now dog of like Darth Vader after episode 3 had come out, and he's on a roller coaster, and he's like, no. It was so great. Like it fucking. Man, yeah, no, we're getting into boomer territory here. It's like,
absolutely.
You remember MySpace when you could edit HTML?
You remember Star Wars Kid? God, you remember I Can Has Cheeseburger they posted a picture of a cat and it said I Can Has Cheeseburger, man.
Oh man.
Comedy these days, they got nothing on that. Stealing cat is watching you masturbate. Classic humor. Classic.
Oh, you know what the fucking sad part is, like, remembering that makes me so fucking nostalgic that, like, I'm almost embarrassed. You know, if anybody saw me, I have, like, rosy red cheeks, and I'm just, like, look like a little anime character, like, you remember Monorail Cat? Oh, man.
Dude, Long Cat just died. Did you hear about that?
Oh, I wasn't ready for that.
I should have warned you about this beforehand. Yeah, Long Cat fucking passed away like last week.
Rip in peace.
Yeah, fucking death of a legend right there.
Yeah, you know. I wonder how many people have been a part of memes that have died. That have just like provided so much humor and enjoyment for people that are just fucking out now.
You know what? Probably more than I expect, but
yeah.
Honestly, it's weirder to me when like you see somebody who was like, you know, a part of a meme way back, like the I don't know, the fucking kid from that like old commercial or something where he's like looking at the computer and nodding, and then he like looks at the camera and gives a thumb up. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
thumbs up. I use it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think I saw a video of him like modern day, like just being like, yeah, you know, I work as a software developer at such and such, like. It's weird seeing these people, you know, resurface all of a sudden, and they're living perfectly normal lives. Like it's not like a celebrity thing where they've like obviously been doing heroin for the last 12 years and they're just like a complete mess. Like it's not like a Frankie Muniz kind of thing. It's just like, yeah, you know, like I got popular in this one video. I never made any money off of it. Nobody recognized me on the street for it. Like I just kind of went about my days. But like, yeah, you've seen pictures of me before. Like that's the weirdest fucking thing to me.
Yeah, but it's honestly like for the best. Like there's not like 15 seconds
not complaining
of fame.
About that at all. No, 100%.
Yeah, like 15 minutes of fame, and it's like we shouldn't like have children having like really long, celebrity experiences like that because it just fucks them up. Like Hollywood is there to
100%.
make money off of them, not to provide anything for them.
Absolutely.
And it's just gross and disgusting. So better for like a kid to get famous for like a couple minutes and then just fucking go about their lives like everybody else.
Yeah. Being famous as a kid sounds, it seems pretty provably miserable. I mean,
yeah.
Like, especially, like, I used to think it was more of an innocuous kind of thing, but, like, the Disney stars that they put through the ringer nowadays, like, man, those kids are, like, young-ass kids. Like, they're actually the age of the people the characters that they're playing. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not end up completely fucked up like that? Like, people dunked on Miley Cyrus for, like, a decade, but, like, Jesus, she seems fairly functionable. Good on her.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's also like the fucking Olsen twins, right? Where it's like just like fucking out of the womb, they're fucking famous. You know?
Yeah.
And like there's so much, like there is a incalculable amount of like Olsen twins fucking just memorabilia, merchandise, all that shit that's fucking out there. And it's like, that's gotta fuck with you, Like people will see pictures of them now that they're like, I don't know how old they are, but
I think
like
as
older
close to
people,
our age, I think they're like in early 30s probably.
Yeah, and when you see photos of them, they seem really weird, and it's like, well, yeah, no fucking shit, dude. Like they had the worst fucking childhood imaginable. Like they were just like famous from the get-go. Yeah,
like I feel like a really common like shared experience between a lot of like American people, I guess, is like loving junk food as a kid. It's like, oh yeah, every once in a while my dad would buy a box of Pop-Tarts because my mom was too busy to cook breakfast or whatever, and like, man, that was the best fucking time. Like, you don't get that as an Olsen twin, you know what I mean? Like from age 4 your mom's like, no, you gotta look good for the fucking camera because we're shooting another season of Full House next month or some shit. Like, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing to like. I feel weird about being sympathetic for it because it's like, well, they're millionaires, like fuck millionaires and all that shit. But it's like,
sure,
it's honestly like, what else other life do they know? Like you can't be. I'm not that mad at like fucking child celebrities who are like doing okay. It's like, you just kind of got thrust into this fucking situation. Like, you've never had a chance to choose something for yourself until like now, maybe. But it's totally. You have all this fucking baggage. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I guess we're not quite educated enough to speak on anything revolving around child celebrities. But Frankie Muniz, I hope you're doing all right out there.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I got anybody who's a child fucking celebrity is like, I hope the system fucking hasn't chewed you up and completely destroyed you. Like,
dude made Big Fat Liar, dude. You remember Big Fat Liar?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. my girlfriend talks about it like all the time. It's like one of her favorite movies. No fucking
way, really?
Yeah.
No way.
Absolutely.
That's one of my favorite movies. Give her a high five for me, all right? That's important.
We went on a stint for a little bit, and we were watching a ton of DCOMs, Disney Channel original movies for the layman. So we were watching a bunch of those, and we got to one. I think it was called like Miracle in Lane 2, and it was like Frankie Muniz in a wheelchair, and he's like wants to be a I can't remember the term, but basically like downhill driver, like kid. He wants to do sports, but he's in a wheelchair. Okay. It's tough. And we were like, how good is this movie going to be? And we started to get through it, and we were like, actually, this is like a pretty good movie, and he's fucking carrying it. Like,
hell yeah.
Way to go, fucking Frankie Muniz.
I saw a movie with Frankie Muniz in it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's about a group of people who start playing a game, and it does like a Jumanji thing where like the things that happen in the game happen in real life. And it's like a survival horror game, so like people are dying and stuff. And Frankie Muniz is like the gamer / hacker character who also doesn't swear as like a plot point. And then at one point towards the end, he's
classic
like,
gamer attitude.
Yeah, gamers. If nothing else, gamers are polite and respectful. That is the one thing gamers are known for.
Well, remember when PewDiePie had his heated gamer moment and he was like, friends?
And he called somebody a neighbor? Yeah, I remember that. Like, it was
neighbor, that was it.
Neighbor. This guy is such a freaking neighbor. But Frankie Muniz, towards the end of the movie, says something along the lines of, like, let's show these punk-ass bitch motherfuckers who's the boss or something. Or, like, who's the real gamers or something. And I was so taken aback, like, as someone who loved Malcolm in the Middle and as someone who's loved, like, Big Fat Liar, I was like, Franklin! You cannot say that!
You can't say those words!
I don't know if his name's Franklin or Francis or something, but...
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Don't look it up, anybody. Just, submit
God
your own answers below.
I just learned the answer and I was wrong both
don't
times.
Say
God
it.
damn it.
All right, listen.
No,
we need engagement. We need comments on our YouTube channel. You better comment below. Do not look it up. We need engagement.
Guys, if you know Frankie Muniz's first name all the way through, drop a like and a subscribe and a comment in the comment section. Hit the bell as well.
Bakari, now you're speaking my language.
Turn on your email notifications. Turn on your SMS notifications. Pay a guy to show up and knock on your door whenever we upload an episode.
Yeah.
Whatever
absolutely.
we tweet, really. It's important.
Yeah, listen, we're actually getting really close. We're setting up. We're gonna have our vital signs on the internet soon. You'll be able to get like minute updates on like what's going on, and when we get excited, that's when you know a podcast is happening.
Exactly. Or I'm just playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hey, yeah, you almost missed an episode not talking about Sonic.
Okay, listen. All right, we gotta get serious for a minute here.
Yeah, no, this is actually we gotta bring it down. We had a lot of fun here, but
so it's important. I have to acknowledge this. I have to name it, and I have to own it. In episode 3 of Battle School Dropouts, which I think aired in August, I think, I went an entire episode without mentioning Sonic the Hedgehog, and I have nobody to blame but myself.
No, listen, it's not just you. Sonic is an institution of this show. I didn't think to bring it up either, and I mean, honestly, I just want to speak honestly with the fans right now. We're sorry.
Well, yeah, exactly. Listen, I don't need anybody defending me. Like all these flame wars on Twitter over me not mentioning Sonic. That's okay. I fucked up, and here I am. I need to own it. I didn't mention Sonic the Hedgehog for a whole episode, and I am truly, honestly sorry. I've started a new I've started a new program where I talk about Sonic. I have a really strong support network group. And it's never going to happen again. And you know what? I understand if people have lost their trust and faith in me, but I want to prove my dedication to Sonic, not through my words, but through my actions. So, Stu, I've been playing Sonic Mania again recently.
And is it good?
It's fucking phenomenal.
Correct answer.
It is the perfect game. Did you unlock and Knuckles mode? Have you played Sonic Mania? There's an and Knuckles mode.
No, despite this whole thing that we just went through, I don't actually play a lot of Sonic games.
I'm stopping this recording right now. What the fuck?
Yeah, you picked the wrong fucking podcast co-host. I love Sonic, but I'm more of the Nightmare Sonic fan than the genuine Sonic fan.
Oh, Sonic Unleashed. I getcha.
Yeah,
like to come out
Sonic
at the
06 is my favorite.
A little bit of a
Sonic
werehog. Yeah.
A little bit of... Actually, that game is on PlayStation Now or whatever, and I've been super tempted to play it.
Fuck off. Is Unleashed on PlayStation Now? Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
No fucking way. I'm signing up for that tonight. I've been wanting to play that game again.
Look it up before you do it. I haven't checked it in like a month.
No, I'm not gonna look it up. And if you're wrong, you owe me $9.99 or whatever the fucking subscription fee is. But yeah, I've been playing Sonic Mania recently. It's a great time. It's just an amalgam of everything people loved from the Sega Genesis Sonic games. You can and and Knuckles mode, where instead of Tails following you around, regardless of who you're playing, it's Knuckles. So you can have Knuckles followed by Knuckles.
Hold on. My mic might be having an issue.
Ah, shit.
What is Knuckles only mode?
It's okay. So it's and Knuckles mode. As you might recall, on the Sega Genesis, they wanted to make Sonic 3 really long, but it ended up being a little too long, so they split it into two games. There was Sonic 3, and then there was Sonic and Knuckles. But Sonic and Knuckles, the cartridge was actually made such that you could plug another cartridge into the cartridge itself. It had like the top would open up, and you could plug another one into the top of it, right? So
Bakari, we all know this. This is such common gaming knowledge. We all obviously.
I'm doing it for the folks at home. I know you know that, but like some folks at home might not have the privilege that you and I have. So I'm just making sure. So if you plugged Sonic 3 into Sonic and Knuckles, it became Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And so they have and Knuckles mode, where Knuckles actually follows you around regardless of the character that you're playing as. So you could be Sonic and Knuckles, you can be Tails and Knuckles, or you could be Knuckles and Knuckles.
Whoa.
And there you go. You got two Knuckleses.
Extra Knuckles. Does he do anything when he follows you?
Not really. He's there. He said, oh no, indeed. Oh no, indeed. Yeah, I mean, like, if he jumps on something, it does damage. It's just there's no way you can tell him to jump on something. So, like, you know, every once in a while he, like, does something. But, like, it's more just the emotional support aspect of having your boy Knuckles. It's your main man Knuckles. And we're at Pumpkin Hill. Oh, no, wait, that's a Fighting Freak Knuckles. Fuck! But anyway.
Oh, my God!
God damn it. You know me, it's the Fighting Freak Knuckles. We're at Pumpkin Hill. Get ready. Anyway. Yeah, no, it's a great game. Everybody should play it. Sonic Mania, 10 out of 10 every single year.
Yeah, it's funny that they released like Sonic Mania and everybody was like, this game's sick. Like, this is so good. Like, this is exactly what we want. And they're like, what's that? Sonic Forces? You want Sonic Forces?
It was like 2 months apart, too. We got like a month and a half where Sonic was good, and then that happened.
Yeah, you didn't even get to sit with it. I think that's a thing with like Sega or whoever works on Sonic is like. I heard part of the problem with Sonic 06 was that it was kind of like 3 different games sort of mashed together because like they would start the game, they would work on it, and then it would get canceled, and then they would pick back up, and then it would get canceled, and then it'd pick back up, and then they were like, okay, you got to put something out. So.
And there you go. You got to put something out, and it's Sonic 06, and you got to wait like a fucking minute and a half for every loading screen. But sometimes you could play as Tails, and you could throw rings. Fuck, Jesus. You can throw rings at people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Who am I podcasting with?
Listen, everybody, I have an apology to make. So about 20 seconds ago in this podcast, I referred to rings as coins. And I just want you to know I don't need anybody's sympathy. I'm just getting Sonic canceled every 10 minutes.
Side note, I would love to do like a Twitch stream or something with the two of us and just try. It would take a while, obviously, but try to beat Sonic 06 on stream. Like get an Xbox 360, put it in there, have the loading screens take forever, and just, you know. When the fans start calling out for it, we'll play Sonic 06 together.
Sonic 06, I think on the 360 is pretty expensive. I think it's around $90-$100, but I think it'd be worth it.
Well, I figure
that's what I've heard anyway.
By the time people want us to do that, we'll have that Patreon money, so I think we'll be okay.
I think so. Yeah, that Patreon check's coming in any day now, I think.
So, okay, this is weird. So I just Googled like Xbox 360 Sonic the Hedgehog. And I found one title for like $14, which, okay, that's pretty good for Sonic 06. Yeah. And then the next copy is $185.
Wow.
So I don't know what the price of the game is.
I just Googled it myself, and I'm seeing it says brand new, lowest price on eBay is $43.99.
Okay, and actually, I take it back. The one that's $185 is the Japanese import. I want to suffer, but I'd also like to understand what's going on. So I vote we go with English.
I'm into it.
All right, everybody. So those good beers that we mentioned at the start of the podcast, they were pretty good and they hit us pretty hard. And so we are coming at you a couple weeks after we recorded.
Yeah, we're in the future now. I can't speak for you, Stu, because I remember very little, but I got like the White House level drunk during the first half of recording. So trust me, like what I do remember, you guys would not enjoy the discourse that we bring forward on Space Brothers. So we're doing it again.
Yeah. We're re-recording this part, just lifting the veil or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just showing, letting you guys know. So we're re-recording this part to talk about the show. We might upload our drunken ramblings about the show at a later date, just because I think it was a good talk. We got into some really good stuff. But we also talked for an hour and a half and got real drunk by the end of it. So I figured let's do a little bit more of a condensed talk here.
Yeah, that's wise. So Space Brothers. You want to break down what Space Brothers is for the people at home? Yeah, let's do it. So there's these two brothers, Hibito and Muta, last name Nanba, and when they were very young, they both decide that they want to be astronauts. Flash forward, I think Hibito, the older brother, is... Muta's the older brother. Muta's the older brother.
Muta's the older brother. Hibito is the younger brother.
Yes. Okay. So Muta is 3 years older than Hibito. Flash forward, Muta's like 31 or something like that, and he has become he works at a car dealership. He designs cars. Certainly not a failure by any means, but it wasn't his goal. Hibito, on the other hand, has become not only an astronaut but like a celebrity astronaut. He's on TV and he's like. Everybody loves him, and he's just, super great. He's working at NASA, and it's fucking nuts. He like really made it. And one day, Muta gets a message from Hibito saying like you should still become an astronaut. And then it turns out that his parents have basically sneakily applied in his name to JAXA, the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, on his behalf. And now he has an interview, and it's go time. So time to get himself back on track.
Yeah, and that's basically like the first episode in a nutshell, and like the premise of the show. It's like, yeah, he's trying to become an astronaut. He's trying to do the thing that he and his brother promised that they'd do however long ago. Yeah,
exactly.
So general thoughts, what did you think of Space Brothers? The first 6 episodes of Space Brothers, I should say.
As a whole, Space Brothers was enjoyable. Space Brothers is like, if I had less things that I enjoyed doing, like that sounds fucked up to say it like that, but like I got a lot of games I like to play. I got a lot of other shows and movies I like to watch. I got a girlfriend. I got a job. I got all these other things that are vying for my attention. And I just can't really find the space to be like, oh yeah, let's sit down and watch a few episodes of Space Brothers. Like it's perfectly fine. But that's about where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. It's like, it's hard for me to say exactly like what I didn't like about it, because it is a well-made show, and it's actually a really nice show because it's a show that really like is targeting us. Like, we're both late 20s, early 30s people. We're kind of figuring out what we want to do with our life, so here's this show that's really targeting us. So it's like, by all means, I should be really into this, and it just never got its hooks in on me, where I was like, oh, I gotta watch more. I gotta know what's gonna happen to Muta. It's like, we finished the 6 episodes and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I thought this was gonna be maybe it was partially, at least on my part, like a mentality kind of thing. I thought this was gonna be much more of like a real heartwarming, like, but more serious kind of dramatic story. And I thought it was gonna be like 12, maybe 24 episodes. Turns out it's 99. And it's kind of goofy. Like, Muta is a really goofy character, and just the whole the setting and like the atmosphere of all the characters and stuff like that is kind of lighthearted. It's a very chill, like, if you weren't even that into anime, but like you wanted something chill to watch after you got home from work, this is probably right up your fucking alley.
Yeah. Because I guess we'll get into it as we get into the episodes. But yeah, there's never like super heavy stakes. Like this is not a like a Breaking Bad or something where you're like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen to them? It's a pretty chill, easygoing show.
Yeah, totally. It's a little quirky. Like in the first episode, Muta gets fired from his job because his boss says something unkind about his younger brother Hibito, and he, remembering Zinedine Zidane, the French soccer player who headbutted somebody or headbutted like referee or somebody, I don't know. He yells Zidane.
One of the players.
Yeah, one of the players. He yells Zidane and headbutts his boss and gets fired for that. Like it's real silly at times.
Right, yeah, like of all the moves to do, he goes for the headbutt to the chest.
Yeah, which it's a power move. I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, in both the anime and when Zidane did it, it was like, yeah, you just took somebody down.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Your head is a hard object, and, you know, if anything's going to damage a sternum, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I remember being in sophomore year or whatever when that happened and being like, oh, shit, like, that's a dick move of that dude, but also kind of sick.
Yeah, no, I heard it on the radio in a car, and I was, like, trying to piece together, like, he did what? What? No.
It's not something you can really put together until you've seen it.
Right. So first episode is, you kind of went over it in the beginning. It's like, yeah, they decide they want to be astronauts when they're kids because they see a UFO. I think.
That's right.
Yeah. So Muta, like very early on, is like, older brother's got a lead. So when the younger brother's like, I'm going to go to the moon, he's like, I'm going to go to Mars. Mm-hmm. Cut to, he is working as like a engineer, I guess, basically designing cars.
Yeah. I don't know what the technical profession title for that is. Sorry if any of our listeners design cars for a living. I don't know what your name is.
Oh, you know, my dad has done that stuff for a while too, and I can't fucking name what it is.
That makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, so if anybody should be embarrassed, it's me. But I liked this first episode pretty well. It's like you set up the characters pretty well. You set up the goal and who Muta is, where he's just like, what's his drive? What's his ambition? Because he gets fired and then moves back in with his parents. And his parents are like, they're getting sick of him. Like an undisclosed amount of time passes and they're just like, you need to get a job, basically. Mm-hmm. I feel it's like, okay, it's about him finding himself again.
Yeah. My memory says a month, but I don't trust my memory at all on this. So who knows how long it was. But yeah, it's kind of a, you know, quarter life redemption saga. I guess not quarter life. That would put him at like 120 when he dies. But, you know, a lot of people turn 30 and they think they're just like stuck. It's like, this is what you're going to do forever. And this show says that's not the case. You can do whatever you want still.
Right, yeah. You can headbutt your manager and go be an astronaut.
And you know what?
Sky's the limit. You
maybe the world would be a better place if more people headbutted their managers. Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, managers should live in fear of their employees. That's the way things should be.
It ain't safe. You gotta watch yourself.
But yeah, so I liked this first episode, and I rolled right into the second one pretty quickly, mm-hmm. which is like... he's unsure about whether he should take the astronaut exam or not. And he ends up like meeting with an old friend, and you see from like an early age, he's like, I want to do the difficult thing. And so it's interesting finding him like not wanting to do the difficult thing. At an early age, he learns I think it's the trumpet because it's the more difficult instrument to learn.
Yeah, Hibito is learning the piano. I think it was the piano.
Yeah, it was piano or guitar. I can't remember.
I think it was their caretaker, guardian person. It was their aunt. Okay, she played the guitar.
I think the translation is aunt. I'm seeing on the Wikipedia, it's visits an old astronomy friend.
I was looking at that too. I was like, am I just thinking of the wrong character? I thought that was his aunt.
I think they call her aunt in like a way that like I had like an Uncle Steve growing up who wasn't actually related to me. He was just a friend of the family.
Oh, yeah. I had an Uncle Dan. Yeah, I gotcha.
So I assume it's something like that. I could be wrong.
That makes a lot of sense. We'll just go with that.
But yeah, this is like this is where like the show really starts to hit its stride with the episodes, where it's like, okay, there's a slight conflict but it's not too intense, and we're gonna deal with it for the entire episode. So this one's like him being unsure if he's gonna take the exam. Spoiler alert: he ends up taking the exam.
Yeah. I guess that would be pretty lame if he just decides, like, you know what? Nah, I'm over being an astronaut. I'm not into that idea anymore. And he just gets a job at a different car dealership or something. That'd be kind of lame.
I love the idea of it being like, you know what? He turns to the camera, he just looks at us and it's just like, I won't be a space brother. Show over. 2 episodes, that's it.
After that, like, it runs the theme song again. It's just Hibito, and it just says it's Space Brothers, but the S at the end of Brothers is just like X'd out, and it's just Hibito being a lone space brother out there going to the moon and shit.
Oh, I like that.
For 97 more episodes.
We would have gotten through that real quick.
Yeah, probably.
But I guess this is a good chance to go into like the side stuff about this episode. I love the opening theme song to this show.
Like, it's great.
I ended up looking up the band and listening to their music, and it's all like kind of dad rock stuff, but it's still pretty good, honestly. So, yeah, I fell in love. The band is called Unicorn, no S, I believe. So
Unicorn. That feels like one of those names that, like, how did you get that name if you're not like from the 50s or something like that? You know what I mean?
Well, so they are from like if you look them up, they're like weirdly hard to find, but they were a band in like the 80s, like late 80s, something like that.
Oh,
and
okay.
then I think they took a break for a while, and then they came back. And they were a bit more like new wavy early on, but then when they came back, they sound more similar to the opening theme song called "Feel So Moon."
That's a great name. I love "Feel So Moon."
It's a great name. Yeah, so they're a solid band. I love the opening, and then the animation's also super good on this show too.
Yeah, it doesn't really set out to be like a real jaw dropper, like a PA Works kind of thing or a Miyazaki movie or whatever. But like what it does, it does very well. It's very comfy.
Yeah. Like it doesn't have big action scenes, but it also like there must have been like enough of a budget or enough of an effort or something. Like there was never a part where I was watching any episode I was like, that looks weird. Why did they do that there?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like even in anime that's like really well animated and crazy good, every once in a while it's like they cut to a scene of a car and it's like a weird 3D render. It's like, oh wait, why is that there? Like that doesn't really happen too much in this show, or that I can remember.
I think there's a couple like CG cars and stuff. That seems to be the way to do it nowadays, because like, you know, things with a lot of moving parts or things that are just like really complicated, it's easier to just like make a 3D model and then like move it around as opposed to having to keep drawing the car at different angles. Right. So there's a few of those, but they hide it well enough that, you know, it never really like makes you think about it. It keeps the immersion the whole time, which I appreciate.
Well, and that's the thing about that I've found about like knowing artists and illustrators is like you have people who can draw cars and you have people who can draw things that aren't cars, and they don't really cross over too much. And like you can have a great illustrator who can just draw people all day, and you're like, draw this car, and it just like it looks like I did it, and I have very little illustration skill.
I mean, yeah, I guess, like, obviously you're going to be a lot better at whatever you decide to spend a lot of your time drawing. And I feel like the people who are interested in drawing people aren't that interested in drawing machines, and probably vice versa, if I had to imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's going back to my dad there. Like I said, he worked on, he's done some car designs and stuff like that. And yeah, when he was a kid, that's what he drew, was just cars.
Yeah.
I can't really remember him ever drawing like a portrait or anything like that. So.
You should draw portraits of people as cars.
Ooh, he should just draw cars.
Yeah.
The movie from Pixar, Cars.
There you go. But like set up at like outside Disneyland or maybe inside Disneyland if he can get away with it. And like, you know, draw your caricature and he'll sit down and he'll draw them as like a little VW bug. That's VW.
Oh, yeah. You got it figured out, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's Hook me up with your dad. We got a real business venture going on here.
Ooh, that's good.
Give me his business card. We'll make this happen.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any? Is there anything outside of like the plot? We'll get back to episode 3 in a second. But outside of the plot, is there anything that really stuck out to you about this show?
I like a lot of the backing tracks, just like the music that's playing like while stuff is happening. It's pretty like, it's not really trying to make itself the star of the show, but what it does really nice. And I think that kind of plays in really well too with the sort of like musical aspect that they have with like Muta playing the trumpet and Hibito playing the guitar or piano. And they make good use of that too. Like in a lot of Muta's scenes where he's like thinking something or like about to do something big or so whatever, like you hear like a song that highlights the trumpet in it, like the trumpet is sort of his instrument in the show, and I think that's really neat.
Yeah, especially in this episode, they really use the trumpet to I don't like, they don't really beat your head over it. What am I trying to say? Beat you over the head with it. There we go. But there is like a kind of like a trumpet. Oh my God, can I do words? They don't beat you over the head with it, but there is this trumpet motif that happens throughout this episode and kind of future episodes. That's like, it's a good touch, you know?
Yeah.
It takes this show from being like, just like a plain story to like actually using the medium of storytelling.
Totally. There's a lot of thought, like, and a lot of care that went into this show, and probably the source material as well, that I very much appreciate. Oh, also, episode 2 introduces Kenji, and Kenji's cool. I like that guy.
It introduces Kenji and Sarika. I think I said her name right.
Yeah, it introduces her, but I think she and Muta don't meet until the next episode, I think.
Yeah. But in this episode, he sees her and like immediately has a crush on her.
Yeah.
She's the first female character who's not a relative. So that's, on the one hand, it's a little weird, but I don't know. I've been there, but maybe I'm not a good person. I don't know.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna cast any stones at Muta for that one. You know, She seems, and she's real good at like everything she does, seemingly. So you know, that's an attractive quality, I think.
Yeah, because well, let's see. So in the next episode, in episode 3. They begin the medical exams, and I think this is the episode where you actually like see her do all the things, and she's just way better than everyone at like everything. Yeah, like she's on the treadmill and she's like outrunning everybody. There's the breath thing where you have to like breathe in a tube, it goes through water, and you have to keep a ball afloat. Yeah, and that's where Amuta's like, I played the trumpet, I could do this, and like she's competing with him, like, no.
And then he gets distracted and lets up and loses because he was but he could have kept going. Like that kind of bummed me out a little bit. I was like, this is his time to shine. My boy's gonna do it, and then he gets distracted by Sarika and comes in second place, but better than his results and all the other stuff. So good job to him still.
But yeah, I like episode 3 because it has like fun. There's like you got some boner jokes, you got some Rose censorship as they have to do like the I don't know what you call it, but where a doctor like checks out your butt,
like a prostate exam.
Yeah, they're doing something like that. So there's some tongue in cheek ways that they play through that. So I like that. Yeah,
totally. There was also that stuff with so Sarika walks into like a room where Muta is at, and he's standing up in front of a spacesuit so that it looks kind of like he sees his reflection in the visor, and it looks a little bit like he's in the suit to him. And she sees that, and like it's an embarrassing thing, but it's endearing to her because her dad used to do the same thing. And that was a really like charming like way to kind of set this tone that the show is really going for, is like, that just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to get rid of that, like, your imagination and your curiosity and like ambitions and stuff like that. It is an extremely feel good show, which is nice.
Yeah, because it is about like kind of going back to your childhood dreams and making them happen. Yeah, and that is kind of the nice thing about this show is just kind of telling this story of like, like you don't have to give up on whatever you were doing. Like you don't have to just settle. Like if you really push yourself, maybe you can pull off something great.
Yeah, totally.
And you can believe in yourself. Oh, so episode 4 4 is they have to take an interview. I like this episode because it's like there's a hard question that they ask at the end, and they ask it in English, and that is like the weak point of Muta throughout all of these exams. It's like he knows enough English to kind of get by and like do a couple things, but he can't like fluently speak it. And so he the final question in the interview is he has to answer a question in English, and I believe his answer is really stupid.
Yeah, he gets asked. The guy asks him something to the extent of like, "Have you learned something new about yourself?" And Muta says something about his hair and how when he washes it in the shower, it makes a lot more bubbles than he thought it did. Because he just didn't know how else to answer that question. And it's like Kenji or Sarika or somebody like points out that it was meant to see if he was somebody who was like, you know, really self-analytical and you know, who cared about like learning and growing continually. And he just gives this like awful answer. And he's like, oh, yeah, I probably just bombed completely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's my favorite part. About like that whole sequence is like I had to do a portfolio review to get into the design program at school.
Yeah.
And every little mistake I made, I was like, I'm not getting in. Like, oh, like you'd hear about what other people did, and it's like, you did that? Oh, I didn't even think it. Oh, I'm not getting in. Like, there's so many times that like when things like this come up that we just beat ourselves up. That it's just like, yeah, there's no way I'm doing this. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm the worst person. And it turns out, no, you did fine. Like, stop kicking yourself so hard.
Yeah, and that's a continual theme of the show, I think, is that Muta's always kind of counting himself out before he's really like given it his all, or even like after he has, he's just like, you know, I didn't make it or whatever. So there's a very like believe in yourself undertone, at least to these first 6 episodes. God, I don't know where it goes in the other 93, but that's what I'm picking up from it.
Like, side note, how are there 90 something episodes of this show?
I don't know.
Like it's not like by episode 6, it's not it's moving at like a super fast speed. How much astronaut training do they do? Like, are we talking about like 50 episodes of Muta training to be an astronaut?
I think honestly, if I had to guess, I don't think he gets in this time. Like Sarika probably gets in or somebody, and he like has to try again. But the experience that he just had has taught him to like believe in himself a little more, and I think he's gonna reapply and do way better, and then he gets in. Cause like there's no way he gets in the first 10 episodes, and then we spend like what. 50 episodes like learning to be an astronaut, and then the other 40 being like, well, I guess they go to the moon, and then what, did they go to Mars? They go to the next, oh god, what's the planet after Mars? Jupiter. It's Jupiter.
Oh,
it's Jupiter.
I thought it was Saturn.
No, wait,
is it Jupiter?
No, it's Jupiter. I'm not gonna look it up.
I'm not gonna. Okay, no. Well, that's.
I'm looking it up.
Okay,
God
so
damn it.
I'm gonna disagree. Not about where our planets are, because I don't actually know. But
I feel so stupid right now. It's Jupiter. I was right. Yes.
Oh, fucking son of a bitch!
Eat shit! I was right. Yes.
You don't know planets. Ugh. I'm disqualified from talking about Space Brothers.
You're not a space brother anymore. This podcast is now called Battle School Space School Dropout without the S. Anyway, what were you saying?
I gotta try to remember on this one. So I think he gets in because I guess to kind of get into like episode 5 and 6 a little bit. I guess more 6. So it's basically a toss up between Muta and another guy. You see behind the scenes where the people who are deciding who's going to get into the astronaut training program are deciding who's going to get in. So they pick Kenji, his friend. They pick Sarika, I believe.
Of course.
And then it's between Muta and another guy. And one of the people at the table is like, we can't have Muta. He fucking headbutt his manager at his last job. Like, we can't have somebody like that.
Yeah.
And most of the episode is you seeing somebody from like their childhood who works for JAXA, who is like going to bat and like figuring out why did he headbutt him, all these things, and he's like interviewing people. He's doing all this stuff to basically, while at the end of episode 6 it's not decided that like yes, Muta got picked.
Yeah.
So many things are that whole episode is about someone else defending Muta against that board. So I gotta be like, he's got to get in now. Like that's got to be the whole reason we went through that, right? That's
a good point. I guess we should rewind because I forgot to mention something that happens in part 2. When Muta goes in for his initial interview, he sits down in his chair and he realizes that there's a screw loose underneath where he's sitting, and he's fidgeting with it the entire time, which like hurts his posture. He's kind of leaning over to one side, and afterwards he's being really self-conscious about it, like, oh man, I shouldn't have been fucking around with that whole thing. I just couldn't leave it alone. And it turns out that same guy had loosened that screw on purpose because he wanted to like test their observational skills. And if I remember correctly, it was only Muta, Kenji, and Serika who noticed and did something about it. Like Kenji like noticed and then ignored it. Serika like pointed it out or something, and then Muta instead just like fucks with it the whole time, which I think to the guy like illustrates his determination, I guess, something like that. It was a very anime move.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's so the same guy who's just for clarification, the same guy who's defending Muta in episode 6 is the guy who put a screw loose in the chair. Yeah. And yeah, that's a total fucking. I mean, I've never interviewed anyone for a job, but it seems weird that you'd be like, all right, we're going to interview all these people. I'm going to do this one obscure thing and see who notices.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a real Giga Brain move for a job inspector or interview giver.
Job inspector.
I don't know where the fuck I'm coming up with these terms today, but it's gonna come inspect your job, and if you don't notice that screw, you're out.
You're out. You don't get the space job.
Yeah,
buddy.
You got the red card, just like Zinedine Zidane. Brought it full circle.
He did it. No, it's good. But so in episode 5, we go and we finally meet. This is like, so we're 5 episodes in and we finally meet Hibito for the first time, because there is some sort of program that NASA has apparently where it's like, hey, you got family? Just bring them in. We'll take care of them.
Yeah, take them to Houston.
So Muta calls his brother and it's just like, hey, come live with me for a while.
Yeah,
like,
Houston.
You want to check out the space
brother.
stuff, right?
yeah. He gets the invite, and he's just like, "Well, fuck it, I got nothing else going on." Oh, at the end of episode 4, they all go out drinking to celebrate the end of the exams or whatever. And Muta, in episode 2, he accidentally flushes his phone down the toilet because he's a lovable klutz. And Serika writes down everybody's email addresses and gives them to Hibito on a piece of paper. And
Kenji writes down everybody's phone numbers and email addresses.
Oh,
yeah, and gives it to him. I'm pretty sure.
And I said Hibito as well. I meant Muta. So Kenji gives them to Muta, and that whole time I was so stressed out. Like, please God, like, put that in your wallet. Do something to make sure you don't lose it, because that's gonna make me so sad if you like drop it in a sewer grate or something and just like lose all your friends because your lovable klutz trope.
Yeah, well, especially when you've got that crush on Serika, right? Like, like that's like thinking about the times where I've had a crush on somebody. Like all of those little things are so important.
Totally,
like, I can't lose this. I've got to figure out. Otherwise I'll never be able to contact that person again. And not having a phone is like such a huge one. But yeah, he flushes his. I forgot about this. He flushes his toilet, or he flushes his phone down the toilet, which I didn't even know you could do, but damn.
I don't think you can do that, honestly. I feel I'm no plumber or anything, but I'm damn near positive if you tried to flush a phone down, it probably doesn't work anymore, sure, but it's not gonna go down the drain and stay in. It's gonna just like sink into the little toilet hole a little bit and then pop back out. Like, what are you doing? Take me out of here. Though I wouldn't say that because it's dead now. It's like super dead, but still.
Yeah, Siri just comes back up like, what have you done to me?
But yeah, episode 5 introduces the most important character also, which is Apo, the pug. That is such a... I don't... Listen, I'm not one of those, like, people who tries to make living dogs into, like, a personality trait, but that dog is so goddamn cute.
It's like, I was waiting for the introduction, because you see Apo in all of the, like, the opening credits, so it's like, when's this dog gonna show up? Like, there's 90 episodes. Are we gonna get to see this dog in the first 6? Yes!
And they followed through. They delivered. Apo is here. He has arrived. he's everything we thought he would be.
Yeah, no, he's cute. And it's nice. I like the non-talking cute animal characters in shows like this. Just like those cutaways always kind of help, I feel like, in these shows. So like when Muta's on his own and he's just like hanging out with the dog while Hibito's at work or something, it's like, let's see more dog. Let's read the room. What's the dog feeling?
Give me more dog. Let's see what's going on with him. Does the dog get into JAXA or NASA or whatever? Does he get to be an astronaut? Are they not going to take this dog to space? Are they going to leave that dog all alone?
That dog's got to go in space, and it's got to get a tiny dog spacesuit.
He sure does. God damn it! If he doesn't get that, then I'm gonna. What, this came out in like 2012. I'm not gonna do anything about it. But I'll be very upset. I'm gonna write Chuya Koyama, the author of the manga. I'm gonna write him or her or them a very strongly worded email about it and hope that they understand it.
Yeah, I mean, just throw it through Google Translate. I'm sure it'll work out.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Google Translate is flawless.
Flawless, yeah.
Especially when it comes to English to Japanese translations. No problems at all.
They're basically the same language. Like, we have so many words in common already that it's like, it's just easy.
That's like quick side note. I've watched a few like YouTube videos by people from America or like Canada or the UK or whatever living in Japan, and a lot of them complain about the fact that Japanese people are using more English words instead of the Japanese words, their Japanese equivalents.
Funny.
They'll just say the word milk instead of saying the Japanese word for milk, which is gyunyu, and it's like, is that such a big issue to you? They're making it easier for you to understand? Like, are you just upset that you spent the 10 seconds it takes to learn the Japanese word for milk and now you never get to use it again? What's your problem?
Yeah, right. Well, I got to figure, there's a certain amount of weebery where you're like, you go to Japan, you expect it to be this like immersive Japanese thing. Like, I'm done with America. I'm off to Japan, the land of only good Japanese things. And then it's like, oh, can you hand me the milk? Milk?
They still got McDonald's and Disneyland. It's you never left.
Oh yeah, I got a picture of a friend who was at a fucking Denny's. Like,
at a Denny's? They have Denny's?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
When I think America, I think like Denny's is like, it's like flag and then right beneath it is Denny's, and yeah, my friends went to Japan and they ate at a fucking Denny's.
Beautiful. I want to go to a Japanese Denny's so bad. I was just looking at, there's a Taco Bell ad for an okonomiyaki crunch wrap. I am dying to try that. Like, I need them to bring that over here, or I need to go to Japan before that promotion ends. Because it's going to be garbage, but it's going to be a different kind of garbage than I'm used to from Taco Bell, and that's important.
Well, the thing I've heard from my friends who have been to Japan is even the fast food stuff over there is better than it is over here.
No, I believe it.
So, like, they went and got KFC, I think, once. I might be misremembering, but something like that. And it was like, yeah, it was pretty good. Like, maybe not top tier food, but like pretty good, as opposed to like KFC here, where you're like, sometimes it's all right, and sometimes it makes me wish I was dead. So.
That's why you just got to stick with Popeyes. It's like, it makes you wish you were dead a little bit, but also it tastes pretty good. Yeah,
because I mean, that just comes with food these days. But whatever.
Exactly. Just part of the experience. If you don't want to die a little bit, are you really getting your money's worth out of this fast food trip? I say no.
So, we're going on a side tangent here. But
Oh God, we are.
Follow through with it. God, the worst part about getting a little bit older here, I hate to go all boomer speak and all that, but like I really am realizing how invincible I am, where like fast food is affecting me the way that it affects my parents and whatnot. Like I get fucking pizza hangovers from Domino's. Like what is this?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because like my girlfriend and I, we end up eating pretty late. It's like we usually have a pretty late lunch, and then as a result, we have a pretty late dinner, like around 11 or 12. And a lot of the time that ends up being DoorDash, and a lot of the time the only thing open is like McDonald's or Jack in the Box. And oh my God, like I used to have a stomach of steel, and I think I still have a pretty decent constitution, but it's painful. It hurts sometimes. It's tough getting older.
Yeah. It's like, what? How is, if this is how fast food treats people as like older people, how is it still around? Like, how have the people who are older than us put up with this?
Yeah, honestly, like how are any fast food patrons over like 40? Because I think I got a few more years in me for this awful lifestyle, and then I gotta call it quits. I gotta just go full vegan or something for a decade to compensate. Yeah.
You just gotta make up for things.
Also, I've never heard someone use the word vincible. Like, I'm sure that's a word, but this is my first time ever hearing that word said out loud.
I honestly, I'm not really sure why I said it. It's like, yeah, it makes sense, but I guess I couldn't think of the mortal. Mortal wouldn't do it. That would be weird. I've never felt more mortal, Bakari. I have not feasted on the blood of younger people.
Maybe sensitive. Maybe that's the word.
That would have made sense. That would have been the human word to use.
It's one of those like gruntled. Like it is very much a word, like as opposed to disgruntled. But like if you use it, people are gonna look at you funny.
Yes. Oh man, that guy is hella gruntled. Good job.
I am gruntled to hear that.
Oh shit, I gotta work that into more talk.
I find this news quite gruntling.
I both love and hate gruntling. Oh.
It's worst. If I ever start another band, it's gonna be called Gruntling.
Gruntling. Oh man, I love it.
So we're talking about anime.
Yeah, we're talking about Space Brothers. So the last, I guess, like couple of big points to cover in 5 and 6 is that now that Muta is in Houston, he's kind of like lost a lot of his energy. He kind of goes back to that state where he's like, I don't know if I'm going to get in. I don't want to be a disappointment to my brother. I'm just going to be sad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work. And Hibito is like, the fuck are you doing? Like, you used to compete with me, and now you're just being this sad sack of shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he says, something like it was like, about you used to compete, and then he says, you're no fun now, and it just, like, goes to bed or something. And, like, that kind of hurt a little bit. Like, Muta's gone soft. He doesn't have that same dynamic that he has with his brother, even though his brother's like, still very much in that place where he wants his brother to succeed, and he wants him to like, he wants to have that relationship where they kind of like make each other stronger through competition, and Muta's just not really stepping up to the plate for that. And that's gotta suck for both parties. So
yeah,
that was the first really like, hit you in the feels moment or I guess the only one that I got from this show. Except in the same episode, you see a hot dog like food. I think it's a food truck. Maybe it's a stand, but it's called No Onion Dog U, and that is extremely good. I got extremely emotional over that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that name. But yeah, I like that part because it's someone who's, I guess like, I don't know, like power or authority, who like isn't trying to like lord it over someone else. Like, he's not like, Hibito is never like, I'm an astronaut and you're not. You suck, Muta. He's like, I'm an astronaut. You should be one too. Like, just do it. Like, the only person sort of standing in Muta's way is Muta a lot of the time.
Totally. And Hibito, like, more than anybody else probably knows what Muta is capable of, and knows that he's like, able to rise to this occasion if he so chooses. And like, from that perspective, I think it's got to be really frustrating to see Muta just be okay with like, being kind of a burnout, having been fired from his job and not really like taking this whole thing seriously. And I think that put it into perspective in like a really clean, concise kind of way. Like that one line just like, and the couple scenes that follow afterwards just like set that dynamic perfectly. Not only sets up what they're doing right now, but how they've always been. Like it's some very smart writing, I think.
Yeah, and it's a good part to inspire Muta, because it's like by Hibito saying that, it's like Muta kind of realizes like, no, I got to kick my ass in gear,
Yeah.
That's not the term, but whatever.
Get your ass in gear. Yeah. I think you were close.
It's get your ass in gear, not kick your ass in gear, but whatever.
But people also say like kick it into gear or something like that, like a motorcycle, I think, because like the clutch or the gear shift or something is on your foot. So it's partial credit. I think you mostly you were pretty close.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like the longer we record, the more we're going to see me combine phrases and things like that. So
exactly.
It's a problem.
It's important to remind the audience, if there's anyone out there, we are dumb as hell. We have no right to be any sort of critics or analysts by any means. So don't take us too seriously.
Well, and I've got a special kind of brain problem where I had somebody once say it's like a double-edged street to me, and I thought that was the funniest thing, that I just started saying it all the time around people who wouldn't get that I was speaking it as a joke.
No, that's good. You should absolutely keep doing that. I'm going to start using that.
Oh yeah, it's a double-edged street.
It's a double-edged street. Brother, it's a double-edged street out there, and I'm just trying to stay in my lane.
Ooh, that's good. So episode 6 has a couple things happen.
Yep.
I don't really remember too much from it being like, oh man, we got to talk about that. But episode 6 is fine. It's kind of more of the show, and it's kind of Muta a little bit more in a positive mood. Oh, and of course, it's the episode where the guy they knew from their past defends Muta from the Council of Astronaut Deciders.
Yeah. This is very much where I think episode 5 was a very like character driven, like very characterization, like let's learn more about Muta and Hibito and Apo the dog and all that. Like this is very much a like how do things move forward kind of episode. Like let's get the plot shit out of the way. So yeah, the guy from their past is like interviewing people like Muta's old coworkers and trying to figure out why he headbutted his boss and stuff. He has a really sweet scene with a kid who tripped and like hit his head, and the guy says something like, "You didn't hit your head, you headbutted the earth, you big powerful manly man, you." And like, boy, if I was a kid who had just tripped, that would have cheered me right up. He's a good guy. There's
a part where Hibito is being interviewed on a show that's very like, it's like a late night interview show. Mm-hmm. And one thing I really like about it, so Muta is watching it and he's eating pistachios. Mm-hmm. And then Hibito is like, hey, I'm pretty good, but like my brother's the really great guy.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
he's going to be an astronaut. He's so good. And then Muta becomes super self-conscious and like buries himself in his bed, and he said the line, I may be misquoting it, but it's like, "Don't put your nutty brother on a pedestal," and he was just eating nuts.
Classic
storytelling and the medium of visuals. They did it.
Yeah, that's art. That's kinography right there. Fucking did it. This belongs in the MoMA or the Smithsonian or whichever one good art goes into. I've never been.
Fuck
both?
It, why not both?
Yeah, it belongs in both. Yeah.
We'll when this podcast gets really, really big, that's what we'll really petition for. Let's get the nut scene from Space Brothers in MoMA and the Smithsonian.
I'd say this time next year, it should be in at least one of those two institutions, if not both.
Yeah, I'd say we're at that level. I'd say we're that powerful.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, we've got. I mean, I think we got like 3 thumbs up on one of our episodes on YouTube. So not to brag or anything.
I think we might be at 4.
At 4, shit, I'm gonna quit my job.
Yeah. It's time to do this full time. I think collectively We've got about 100 views. So.
I mean, that's real talk. That's more than I thought we'd get in 5 episodes. So good on us. 4 episodes. This one hasn't gone up yet.
Oh yeah, got him. Yeah. But okay, so that's kind of our thoughts on the things that happen in the episode.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. So we got our rating system. Total garbage, and keep watching. Where does the show fall for you?
So I'm frustrated. Okay, to answer your question, it's an eh. But I'm really frustrated that it's not a keep watching, because like we talked about, this does like, not only does it really like hone in on our age demographic being like at or approaching 30, but also like in my case, especially like I have a younger brother, 4 years younger, 3.5 years younger than me, has a master's degree, got this crazy job working like to move to Japan actually, and like teach English, not the JET program. Like he has a master's degree specifically into teaching English to speakers of other languages, and he was going to be like a college teacher or some shit. Like, dude's crazy accomplished and everything, and I'm just kind of, you know, I was very much a C average kind of guy. So like, you know, there's that sort of like not inferiority complex, but you know, like that sort of like, if this is a competition, I am losing severely kind of thing. So yeah, like I wish that this show brought me a little more that I could like really attach myself to and like really root for Muta and all that stuff. Like this could have been, I feel like in other hands, this could have been a life-changing story for me. And as it is, I'm just like, yeah, that was fun, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so funny to me that we're in like the same exact boat, because I've got a sister who's very successful, and I think that it's like we both have non-antagonistic relationships with our successful younger siblings.
Oh yeah, my brother's tight. I love the dude.
Yeah, so it's like they are very much the Hibito to our Mutas.
Yeah.
And it's like, we by all means should absolutely love the show. Like we are just watching ourselves on screen.
Yeah.
We're both just like, eh.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the frustrating part about it. Like I want to be like raving about this show, and instead we're just kind of like, yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because that was the thing, is like when it came time to watch episode 7, I was like, well, is there a dub? And then I saw there wasn't a dub, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna watch Hunter x Hunter. Okay,
there you go.
I just moved on to, I went back to shonen. Like this show just did not grab me, and I'm with you. I wanted it to, it just never did.
And that's funny too, is because like, you know, so many you know, I think it's no secret that anime has gotten like exponentially more popular in the last few years. You know, you got celebrities and all that, the fucking Jodeci album and all this shit. And I feel like a lot of people our age and maybe even older are like into it, even if they weren't as kids. And a lot of them are going like, where's the anime for people my age? Why are all the protagonists like, you know, 15? And this is it. This is the anime for people your age. This is the thing. And it's like, maybe there's a better one out there, but like exactly what you said is like, you know, after watching this, I'm like, man, I kind of want to just watch some Hunter x Hunter or something, watch some God of High School or some Yu Yu Hakusho or something. Yeah,
in our drunken ramblings while I was trying to edit it, there was a really good line that you had that was like, if I wanted to watch a show, if I was talking to somebody about wanting to watch a show that was not about like 15-year-old protagonists fighting monsters or something, they were like, oh yeah, you want a more adult oriented show, you should watch Space Brothers. Like you would be disappointed. And I feel like that really, like if this is as good as it gets, that's a little bit of a bummer.
Hey, way to go, drunk me. That's smarter than anything I thought I said that during that time. So gonna pat myself on the back for that one.
There's some good stuff there. It's just also an hour and a half after we talked for like an hour. So
yeah.
No, I mean, I guess we're getting close to an hour here, so we should probably wrap up. So yeah, for both of us, it is a pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's not my bag, maybe it's somebody's. Like there's probably plenty of people who absolutely adore this show, and more power to them. I wish I was one of them. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think there might be a little bit of whiplash for anybody listening to this episode who would be like, oh, they just spoke about all these things that they liked at these episodes, and now they're both like, yeah, it kind of sucked. It's like, yeah, it's good. Like, it's hard for me to point at, like, that's bad. The thing that they did in this episode was dumb or bad. It's just like, it just was never great either.
Yeah, there's something that you said in a previous episode about, like, and, you know, we've talked about this off the air before about, like, you know, if something is good, it's interesting. If something's bad, it can still be very interesting. If something's boring, that's the problem. And I'm not saying that this is boring by any means, but, like, honestly, at around, like, episode 3 or episode 2 or something like that, I had probably more, like, mental resistance to clicking the next episode button than I did for, like, Eat Man. And I hated Eat Man.
Yeah. Well, and thinking about Eat Man too, like, after watching Eat Man, we made a fucking suicide pact to watch the other version of it, and I have 2 of the mangas on my shelf right now. Like, I'm not gonna buy Space Brothers. Like, I don't find it as fascinatingly good or bad as I did with, like, Eat Man and other shows.
Yeah. And it's, yeah, frustrating is the word for it. Like, I really want to be into it, and it's just ain't for me. But yeah, the quest continues.
Well, let's wrap up this podcast here. So we're getting a little bit slower in our releases, but, you know, so is life. Whatever. Yeah. That's not the phrase. Such is life.
Life is also getting slower in its releases. No, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what am I saying?
It's the fucking apocalypse. Donald Trump is going to be voted in for a second term in 2 weeks, and I'm already upset about it. Like, everything's awful. Dude didn't die when he was supposed to, and now we're stuck for another 4 years.
Oh, you know what's rough? We're bookending this podcast. We start the podcast with talking about how excited we are that Trump got COVID, and we're ending it with, why didn't he die?
I forgot, because when we first recorded, yeah, he had just gone to the hospital for it. Oh, man. Time just gets you. Fucking can't have shit in Detroit.
And this episode is also going to come out after the election, so, oh boy.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I can take the L on this one, but I've learned not to hope.
Yeah. But so our stuff is a little bit slower to come out, but if you want updates about what's going on, you can follow either of us on Twitter. I'm Hentai Pizza Lord.
And I am at Bakfu, BAKFUU. Yeah.
So if you are curious about what's going on, you can message us there, and we'll get back to you eventually.
Eventually. No promises.
Next episode, we did not decide what we're going to watch, so I'm going to edit that in here.
Perfect.
We're going to watch Dr. Stone. Oh, wow, that's such a good choice. I'm really excited for those episodes.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I love that anime already.
That show is it's so good.
Perfect.
I think. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I've got to review it still. So. But yeah, that's it for us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.